Couple words on Samsung's new solid-state battery. This is really probably going to be a game changer. It has an 800-kilometer range. It takes 9 minutes to charge versus much longer on current EVs. It has a 20-year lifespan, and it's 50% smaller than your current lithium-ion battery. The anodes in this solid-state battery are silver carbon layered. Samsung has not said yet, but there have been some analysts who've estimated that this battery could require as much as 100 grams to 1,000 grams of silver per EV.
Gold has indeed had a strong performance this year, reaching record highs above $2,600, while silver has lagged behind in comparison. However, this dynamic may soon shift as silver demand is expected to rise, driven partly by a new technological breakthrough from Samsung. According to retired investment professional Kevin Bambrough, Samsung's new solid-state battery will use as much as 5 grams of silver per cell, with a typical EV battery pack containing around 200 cells for a 100 kilowatt-hour capacity expected to require about 1 kilogram of silver. Bambrough expects this new battery technology to be instantly popular upon release. It leverages silver's exceptional electrical conductivity and stability to enhance battery performance and durability. According to Samsung's announcement, the batteries will exhibit amazing features, including a 600-mile range, a 20-year lifespan, and a 9-minute charge. While speaking with Kitco News after Samsung's shocking reveal of its new solid-state battery technology, Bambrough said, "With global car production standing at about 80 million vehicles per year, if 20% of these vehicles, 16 million EVs, were to adopt Samsung's solid-state batteries, the annual demand for silver would be around 16,000 metric tons. This would represent a significant portion of the current global silver production, which is approximately 25,000 metric tons annually, highlighting the substantial impact on the silver market." Renowned metals and resource stock analyst Peter Krauth made similar arguments in favor of silver during a recent presentation at the Metals Investor Forum. During his presentation, Krauth described silver as a wonder metal, highlighting its many important and impressive qualities, as well as how essential it is to the future and development of our planet. We will present clips from Peter Krauth's presentation. But before we do, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notifications bell for more videos. We appreciate the support and hope you enjoy the video.
AI and the new solid-state battery. Silver's uses, it's really kind of legendary. I call it a little bit like the Swiss knife, army knife of metals. It has just so many incredible uses. It's second only to oil as the most widely used commodity. It has over 10,000 uses. It's the most reflective metal. It's an excellent conductor of heat and electricity. Resists corrosion and oxidation. It's the second most malleable metal after gold, and of course it has fantastic antibacterial and antimicrobial properties. Now this is a statement by Sprott Asset Management, and they talk about silver and the AI implications, and they're basically saying that because of the rise of AI, the demand for silver is going to rise as well, and there's all these end-use applications that are AI related that include transportation, nanotechnology, biotech, healthcare, consumer wearables, computing, energy storage, and data centers, and I'm going to talk about that last one a bit more. So this chart shows global data generated per year. So we all know we're generating data, that we're really in an information economy. That's been the case for a while. And as the rest of the world modernizes, that's going to be the case even more. So between 2010 and 2013, there was a 60 times increase in the amount of data generated. That's the amount of data that we generate is now forecast to grow by 50% in the next year. And we're going to have in the next year more than all of the world data generated that was generated between 2010 and 2016. This is a huge trend. Data has to be stored somewhere. That needs to be backed up. That requires energy. And then there's the AI implication that you can layer on top of that. So AI is just, as I say, another layer of demand growth The size of data centers and capacity growth from AI is going to be something really to be reckoned with. An example is that a chat GPT query uses about 10 times more energy compared to a Google search. And it's expected that by 2030, data centers alone in the US will take 7.5% of all US energy versus 2.5% last year. So it's AI is going to, data centers are going to triple their percentage of US energy demand. So all these big tech companies have net zero targets. They want and need to try to meet these targets. And obviously, you know, some of the best, an incredible announcement yesterday, I don't know if any of you saw it, but that Microsoft said they're going to restart the 3 Mile Island nuclear facility because they need the electricity for it. Net zero or close to zero emissions are really something that they're continuing to push. One of the fastest energy sources that you can get approved is solar. And this chart shows that all of the renewable energy projects in the US in the third quarter of 2023, the yellow dots are solar. So you can see that solar really dominates the new power sources in the US. And a couple words on Samsung's new solid-state battery. So obviously this goes into EVs. This is really probably going to be a game changer. It has an 800-kilometer range. It takes 9 minutes to charge versus, much longer on current EVs. It has a 20-year lifespan, and it's 50% smaller than your current lithium-ion battery.
All roads lead back to silver. Artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, solar panels, the military, and virtually every other sector expected to remain or become a major part of the global economy within the next 5 years. This is why experts like Krauth are certain of an impending boom in silver prices. According to Bambrough, all of these important use cases should assure investors of the coming explosive growth in the price of the precious metal. It's another reason to expect silver markets to tighten up, Bambrough said when talking about the Samsung solid-state battery technology, and to expect the price of silver to take a run at its all-time inflation-adjusted high of $200 per ounce in the coming years, he added, also noting that all one needs to do is look back at the silver chart of the 1970s to see how explosive the precious metal can move skyward when a true shortage develops and speculators decide to hoard. During his presentation, Krauth also talked about the silver supply shortage, noting that all above-ground silver inventories are in danger of being completed in the next 2 to 5 years due to the unprecedented demand for the gray metal. Let's get back to the video.
The reality of silver is that we're facing a drought of supply. This chart shows you the light blue bars are demand, the dark blue bars are supply, and I've highlighted in yellow that we've been in a deficit scenario, and that blue line at the bottom is the net of the two. And so that's been since 2021. We've been in a net deficit. That's forecast again this year. And if you add the deficits of the last 4 years, including what's forecast for 2024, we're at 759 million ounces. Just think about the fact that entire silver supply each year is 1 billion ounces. So we're talking about 75% of a single year's supply is the cumulative deficit of the last 4 years. Really something. Silver primary mines are already very rare, and this info from S&P Market Intelligence tells us that they think that silver from primary silver mines will peak in 2 years and start to fall after that. So where the silver is going to come from is anyone's guess. If you look at, now there's a lot of info here. This is from the Silver Institute's 2024 report, but it tells you all of the, or with some detail, a lot of the supply and a lot of the demand areas for silver. And so just some things to highlight. Between 2016 and 2020, solar was mostly averaged around 80 million ounces. And then 2021, it jumped to 89 million ounces. And then it blasted to 119 million ounces. Last year was 194 million ounces. That was a 64% growth in silver demand for solar alone from 2022 to 2023. And the forecast for this year is 232 million ounces. We went from 8% Solar being 8% of all supply in 2020 to 23% this year as forecast. I think that forecast is going to end up being low. But again, we're in a deficit position. That doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. Silver mined throughout the world. The three biggest silver miners are Mexico, Peru, and China. Mexico is about double of either of the other two at 200 million ounces. Peru and China about 107, 110 or so million ounces. But this is very much in contrast to silver production. Silver reserves are much, much higher in Peru, for example. This is in thousands of metric tons, so about 1.1 million metric tons in Peru versus Mexico, which is the largest producers, which has only 37 million metric tons. So Mexico is producing the most, yet it has much, much lower reserves than 5 or 6 other countries. If you look at the combined output, Mexico and Peru, over the last 10 years almost, that's fallen by 25%. The all-in sustaining cost globally for silver is roughly about $14. You have to ask yourself, if that's the case, at $31 today, they should be making money hand over fist, and yet why is mine production falling? Why are we not getting more silver out of the ground if it's so profitable? This chart is critical markets balanced for a number of critical metals, aluminum, copper, nickel, zinc, lithium, cobalt, platinum, and silver. Silver has the biggest deficit by 2030 forecast. We're talking about, hard to imagine, but 120% deficit in silver by 2030.
Peter Krauth believes silver is in a massive bull market, offering investors a generational opportunity that only presents itself in very rare cases. Unfortunately, many investors don't yet realize the importance of this moment, the big moment before all hell breaks loose and everyone rushes to seek shelter in safe haven assets. This is undoubtedly why iconic investors like Warren Buffett are strengthening their cash reserves at record paces only seen during previous moments of crisis, like the Great Financial Crisis. Silver is a proven inflation hedge and a crucial industrial metal for the green revolution. It is irreplaceable in solar panels, electric vehicles, and electronics, and could offer investors a wide profit margin as it did in its last secular bull market, particularly with the rapidly widening gap between supply and demand. This is why experts like Krauth and legendary investors like Jim Rogers call it a generational play and the opportunity of a century. Do you agree with them? Please share your thoughts and comments on Peter Krauth's interview in the comments section below. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications bell for more. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.